And I'm sure today there are many that I have neglected, but these are the main ones that I did indeed collect. And as we go through them, perhaps you can go through your book, specifically chapter 5, and find examples of these as I tell you about them. But certainly, as you go through the book, there's many more chapters to be had. I hope that you will be alert for these. By the way, this would be a great paper topic, teachers. Now, of course, YouTube will not let us show clips of a lot of these things because of copyright issues. So I think what I'm going to have you do, teachers, is as we go across these, perhaps you can find clips that are just right for your students, because every classroom is different, every student is different, and obviously every age group is different. And then you can show this to them as I build the teacher's help section on the website. I hope that you will please. I hope that you will check there, and I will be able to have clips pre-selected for you there as we get a little bit going, as we get going here a little bit more. All right. Well, let's start with my earliest influence, and let's go to the latest. When I was 15 years old, I got a job at my local newspaper. Shout out, Connie Werda. The Evansville, my local newspaper was the Evansville Press, and I was a cub reporter photographer. And then I became editor of my high school newspaper. I was a professional, and I felt like it. I was earning 20 cents a column inch, which basically is like this much. So I was making next to nothing, but I felt as what the kid, I gotta embarrass my kids here, but I felt like a baller, as the kids would say. I love to humiliate. How do they know if I love them if I don't embarrass them? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Well, I was thrilled to make any money, and I was thrilled to see my byline in the newspaper. And I set out to make my work the best it could be. My years of writing and then editing at newspapers taught me to be super thrifty with words. I had so much fun cutting words, and I still do. When I was in college, I read Strunk & White's The Elements of Style, which I recommend for anyone who has to write professionally for any reason. It's not a big book. It's not super expensive. It's about so big. Takes you no time to read it, and it will change your writing life. Changed mine. Suddenly, I was aware of all the different extraneous words that I use, and I uh, I became pretty manic at that point about cutting extra words. Now, today I consider cutting words a game. It's fun, like losing weight, but with an immediate payoff. Now, the more words I cut, the bigger score I get. If any of you are teaching composition out there, perhaps you can make it a game. Write a paragraph with tons of extra words in order to and then let your students hack away to sew this sort of thing. Of course, their results have to sound like grammatically correct English, but the student who cuts the most words wins a prize and my undying appreciation. Now, in my mid-teens, I began reading the Chronicles of Narnia. I know, cliche for a fantasy writer. I loved it for how it cast a magical spell over me. When I was reading it, I truly felt my my personal reality fade away, and I felt like I was enclosed in the magical world of Narnia. Today, I always say that writers need to understand their genre. A genre is the category of literature in which you write, and you have to know who your average or target reader is. If you are reading a sci-fi or fantasy book for young people, I am going to assume you want an exciting or maybe comforting escape from an unpleasant or boring day. And that's why a lot of my work will feature people kind of running away and finding safe harbors. Because I think we all need that. And I think that's one of the advantages that reading has over a movie or a TV show or YouTube. With a book, you are safe. I mean, you are in your own reality, whereas anybody can get to you through a screen, friend or foe. Well, at any rate, my next major influence is any Indiana Jones tale. I particularly enjoy the historical settings, the constant adventure, and what little we do learn about archaeology. My undergraduate university did not offer archaeology. If it had, I might have majored in it. Anyway, my love for Indiana Jones are why my manuscripts are so fast-paced. I know this next influence will cause other writers to throw rotten vegetables at me, but for blunt force effectiveness, P.G. Wodehouse keeps delivering. Sure, other writers dazzle more with their technical gymnastics, but if you want a soothing escape that ends with a smile, Wodehouse is your man. I know very well. I had an ancient, I learned to edit Greek. I know very well that tragedy is considered a higher art form than comedy. I know, another topic for another day. But Wodehouse is the only author I know who can break every single writing rule, enraging a writer, and then turning around and make you love him for it. He is the only guy I know who can make scene breaks funny. I've tried to emulate him in spots, but of course, nobody's ever going to be as good as Wodehouse. Now, Wodehouse's work always ends on a happy note, which I love. If I'm interested in a movie and it has a sad ending, my kids will warn me about it, that I shouldn't see it. They'll say, oh, yeah, no, you wouldn't like it. The movie violates the Rebecca rule. And I know not to see it. I know it's not for me. Another reason I prefer happy endings is because, as you may or may not know, I'm a single mom of four, and my love of children permeates everything I do. Moms hate to see their kids go through a hard time. Likewise, my characters are my kids. Even if the internal closed circuit of their reality demands my character experience is unpleasant, you should be able to find ways that I comfort my characters or mitigate their problems. Empathy is key here. I have to imagine putting my readers and characters through these very same situations. My last and most recent influence is Phryne Fisher, the lady detective from Australia. She is the female answer to James Bond, and quite frankly, one of my goals is to be like her. I even maintain a list on my blog where I tally up all of her amazing accomplishments in every episode. Comment below with your favorite authors, or what authors have influenced you the most. Uh, uh, don't forget to like and subscribe. That is it for today's vlog. Stay safe when you trick or treat, kids, and I love you all.